this and you download it in 2 seconds, bro. Like, it's actually, it makes Twitch 500 times better. It's fucking crazy. Shut the hell up and go on YouTube. Okay, guys, what should we... Oh, new... Whoa! Oh my god! 1 minute ago! Holy shit!
Attention game. Water. Attention gamers. Previously on my attempt to stop holding L's by catching a few dubs, I dinged 40 and with the help of streamer benefits bought me a ram that I named Rebecca. I wasted an entire day of my life on a single quest where I almost died while being AFK. I proved that I'm ready for endgame dungeons before scamming a guildie with a weird kink for bald people. I met up with 3 of the biggest dick slingers in the guild to do a dungeon, to which I found my own way to contribute as we killed the final boss, and I took interest in a ring that had 0 value to me as a hunter. Psych, I passed on the Warrior's Purity ring. The last thing I want to be called is a ninja, as my plan is to be a team player in this guild, and I was about to prove this by avenging the deaths of my guildies. The first death can best be summarized by this clip that I took wildly out of context.
I ran in there, pulled everything on purpose, said we're fine, and then we died. She died.
Turns out she wasn't streaming, so you had to witness her demise from the POV of the kid, who clearly missed when it came to his decision to attempt this quest, and considering the top of this boat looked like a Jack Sparrow cosplay contest, while he and the third they pulled out of Hogwarts daycare were struggling to appear threatening.
Oh no, you're gonna die, you're gonna die!
The healer got the aggro, which turned into this.
No!
Dad was less than happy to hear the news.
No. I haven't even seen the footage. I haven't even seen the death.
And what I took from the conversation is that this particular quest is too deadly to attempt on hardcore and should be skipped.
Dumb, extremely risky quest. Everyone's warning you about this quest, and you still do it. I tell you to calm down. You're going crazy.
So naturally, this was the next quest I wanted to do. But with the plan to apply the lessons from Soda's rage, like when a random normie asked to group, I remembered.
You don't know who it is! You don't know this mage! You understand the difference between a stupid and a good player?
And politely told him to piss off, only to learn not 15 seconds later why grouping with that shit stain indeed would have been a mistake. Anyways, the quest clearly says this.
Take some of your most skilled comrades.
So I'm not sure why Emmy chose to bring this when she heard that, but I was going to bring someone else. The guild's rogue tank, Mr. Ozzy, a dear friend of mine and Howard's, and together we were going to avenge the death, and after the warning signs,
Dumb, extremely risky quest,
I knew we'd have to be clean with the kills. The first boat I went down looking for Amber Heard put a trap down and then said, "Hey, I have a large net worth and like to get drunk," knowing the bait would work, as I posted up and just waited for her to come out wanting to sue me. It worked like a charm, and our flawless execution was going to bring us to the captain, who was already fucking dead. So we opted into waiting in a small room in the middle of a ship where 17 mobs can respawn at any time while we wait for Captain Barbosa to get back from the store with the milk, only to be greeted with third-degree burns and a hunter hitting him with the first-person POV while his butt buddy was making a better door than a window, and with that, the first of 3 was down. But as we approached the second ship, we ran into one of those bestiality fetish sex elves who wanted to join.
and you don't know who the this person is.
That's a no for me, dog. Sorry, Soda's orders. And sure enough, she quickly proved to have a room temperature IQ when she invited half the boat out of their quarters to kick her ass, which I thought was hilarious until they all decided I would be the consolation prize.
You got debated.
I then figured I would show her how to properly do this pull, and I think by Ozzy's reaction I nailed the execution.
One. Lots.
We had a dog fight on our hands this time, and I decided I'd rather bring this party onto dry land where there is potential for even more mobs. I played a quick game of follow the iron grenading leader, then I shoved a Tide Pod up Howard's asshole and told him to bite the cosplaying cow, but there were too many, so I had to play dead on TV, let them give my rogue tank some attention and wither them down one by one. When I saw the second captain I couldn't hold back my inner 12-year-old and asked him what the difference between a goblin and a gremlin were, but he died before I could tell him the punchline. Now for the record, the proper way to execute this pull would be to request a private meeting with 2 of them before talking to the rest of the family, then put one over ice while you deal with the second, and it'll be the cleanest double homicide on this side of the Eastern Kingdoms, but I chose a different approach.
Best ability.
I failed to account for how hard it is to resist petting Howard, so the entire extended family came rushing out, which resulted in a brief scare for Mr. Osborne, but we did it and were ready to face the last and most deadly captain we'd ever seen.
Hey, my, you're a tall one.
I debated showing that Emmy died to the army, who reports to this knee-nibbling garden gnome, and even though we both laughed at this little cake topper somehow reaching the top of the blood cell totem pole, we had a mission, and that was to teabag he who killed Emmy before parting ways until the next time. Fandy's death was next, and this one was less a matter of in-game danger but rather a combination of external factors. She was going on her 10th straight hour of streaming a game that's been the same for 20 years, likely tired and invested into something dank on her second monitor. And the duo she invited to her party was also tabbed out checking if this was the same Fandy he watches on a different site late at night while doing the 5-knuckle shuffle on the old piss pump, and the combination of neither of them fully paying attention proved to be a lesson on how quick it can all end. I went to that same bloody anus of a zone knowing that avenging this death would be much easier for me, since I was neither sleep deprived like Fandy or jerking off like the hunter in her group as I started the escort, and everything was going. Some asshole threw some heat Howard's way and had to pay the price, but that was the only action at Fandy's funeral site. That said, for those of you on your seats wondering how the rest of this quest goes, you help the dude deal with his crippling arachnophobia. He complains about his asthma and then shows you where his old 9 to 5 was, as if you give a shit. Turns out his old co-workers thought he was a cocksucker, and then after 15 minutes of escorting this short dude that didn't shut up once, he flat out gets JFK'd right in front of your face. So you loot his inheritance and that's it. Ms. Kiff's death had me feeling less sad but rather more mad. Mad at myself for not betting the other guildies more gold that he would die within 24 hours of having to play on his own, and the lesson to be learned here is that these mechanical chickens are not to be fucked with, because for some ungodly reason there are large groups of Yetis who advocate against their release. He had more than one opportunity to just piss off and live to fight another day, but with the ongoing recession I get that times are tough, and he was undoubtedly understaffed in the thinking department that night. So in a series of unfortunate events that can be summarized as, guy does really dumb shit, he joined Emmy in going back to Elwyn.
Can someone help, please?
This admittedly was not a quest I should have tried to avenge solo, but as Rav the Avatar, he who is committed to showing the guild that he has their backs, and that he's better than Ms. Kiff at the game, I had to do it. I knew that a threesome with a few Yetis would spawn soon, so the strategy was to clear the area first, but this ended up backfiring in a big way as my timing was worse than a broken metronome.
Oh no.
I told Howard he's got to deal with one of the big guys while I let the other two slap around my metal cock, but I had to deal with Harambe over here spitting in my face. I wanted Howard to peel, but I knew that chicken was almost dead, so no boar or bomb was spared in getting them off. I had to fake my own death so that I could survive to tell people that Bigfoot does exist, and he and his brothers tried to put me in a box as the first wave in this shit fest of an escort was over. I had a feeling more were coming, but just to show how proper preparation prevents poor performance, the next orgy I had was smoother than an oiled tit as we blew up monkey numero uno, told the second to chill out while I backed up to the 3-point line and went full-blown Cincinnati Zoo on his brother, and with that, the second wave was complete. The third and final wave would be a different story, however. This time there were 4, and despite trying to execute the same game plan, I managed to fail the quest almost immediately for some ungodly reason. After a certified fuck fest for me to kill the 4-pack, I went back to the footage to realize that my pussy-ass piece of poultry just kept running while I was fighting off the entire county so he could escape. I ran all the way back just in time to see someone else run off with my girl, as if I didn't reserve this retry, so I left the cave and acted like I didn't care what went down on their date, only to immediately whip out my binoculars to watch this chode pally fail. Sure enough, he was in Camp Miss Kiff on this one, as this was clearly doomed. You could see him running back to me trying to ask for help, but I was like, nah bruh, if I wanted to hear from an asshole I'd fart, as I just waited for the chicken to die as my cue to haul ass back and nab me the next round. I smurfed on the first two packs, but this time I back and nab me the next from an asshole I'd fart, as I just waited for the chicken to die as my cue to haul ass back and nab me the next round.
Okay, so he lived.
I smurfed on the first two packs, but this time I was prepared for that cock to see the finish line and bust his nut too early once again. Sure enough, that dumb shit rooster is oblivious to the world around him once again, so I need to literally show these rabbits tramp stamping my anus right in front of his beak to get him to just wait for the rabbitar to do his job.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And after a less than coordinated quadra kill, I told him off, then walked him down the hill, and with that Ms. Kiff was avenged. The last death came early on in OnlyFans, as Corey the guy was the first high level in the guild to meet his demise when he attempted something that I quote.
Yeah, this looks safe.
Zanzel the Outcast is a seemingly harmless troll, but he sticks a twig in the ground that has more skeletons coming out than a gay bar's Halloween party, so while he did kill the main guy, the extended family of that troll's butt buddies ended his journey.
I'm actually dead. Yeah, I'm actually dead.
I knew that avenging this particular death would not be enough on its own, and I would have to use it to send a message to the world of Warcraft in my own patented Rav the Avatar way. So to the roaches in Asmongold's cancer pit of a Twitch simp guild, if your guildie isn't willing to avenge your death by butt-naked brawling a dangerous mob with a thrown weapon, is that truly a guild you are proud to be in?
Dude, Rav's been popping off with this hardcore WoW content. Ranking every class from easiest to hardest in PvP for 10.2.
Do you want some fast and easy rewards this season? Well, today you're in luck. We will be ranking the difficulty for every most difficult hunter spec. While hunter is typically seen as a beginner class for PvP, survival has the added difficulty curve of a less streamlined rotation. EM and with overall might be huge on stacking dots and landing light, or even innocuous
assassination, really?
Rogue spec. So while Asa might technically be easy to play, it's not exactly the easiest to win in the solo bracket. Finally, let's wrap things up with the hardest melee for Solo Shuffle in Season 3. And before we move into our next easy, unlike other melee who can simply slam a constant stream of DPS, sub-rogues need to play incredibly crafty, carefully managing DRs and executing kills with precise CC. Super high skill floor. It's shield on. True beginner druid. It's just a more complex version of Assassination Rogue. One reason for this is the wild attunement PvP talent, which encourages a playstyle spamming Cyclone, making Feral one of the only melee in the game.
After a successful Cyclone cast, you are automatically shifted into cat form, and your next ferocious bite or maim within 5 seconds also casts. What the fuck? Yo, wild attunement is absurd. What the fuck? I kind of dig it though. I think it's sick.
That needs to routinely worry about interrupts. Casting these Cyclones leaves Ferals exposed in human form, where they are very squishy, and overall, Feral Druids need to damage. There is true not at the spot. Possible range DPS. Is it squishy to melee? It can be, but so is almost every Arcane Mage share the crown as some of the most challenging specs to play for similar reasons. Cost of playing in the bracket. Not only does a significant amount of healing come from one button, Life Bloom, Resto now has multiple NPCs to summon that can do the healing for them. Together, these allow Resto Druids to play passively in Solo Shuffle, max ranging at a pillar to avoid actually score a kill.
Okay. Typed in my password wrong like 12 times. Okay, I did it again. Might actually take a break. I'm gonna hop on when servers come back up.